I went outside today, and it was just like, oh, the air, it burns. It burns. Oh yeah, there's a challenge thing tomorrow. I still haven't played the new Salmon Run map. I do want to try that at some point. The whatever it's called, it's like a highway. Yeah, and I think during the time we normally do in chat tomorrow, there's a challenge mode. I don't remember what it is. I don't think it's fog. Yeah. So, what is the plan today? Oh my god. So I decided, last week we did this on a Sunday. I feel like for the past like 2 or 3 weeks we've been going on a Sunday. But today I was like, let's do it on a Friday, sure. Especially because I didn't do Zelda today because I had other things to take care of. I had to do some summer cleaning. And we'll talk about that a little later, because, yeah, I got fucking sprayed 6 ways to Sunday, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, my plight this week. Sure, I like the word plight. But yeah, so today, the big news story is the Nintendo Direct. We have, like, one other smaller thing. That's more of just, like, a personal thing I want to talk about. But, the main story is Nintendo Direct. And, yeah, I think, I didn't even check if there were other news stories. But yeah, the only other news-related thing this week that I even kind of checked out, because normally for most stories, I go to, like, Kind of Funny, or I have a few sources I follow on Twitter. Like, I know there was a Sonic Central today. You best believe I did not watch it. Because I feel like that Sonic game has been in, like, 3 showcases so far. But yeah, no, I watched some of Todd Howard on the Kind of Funny Xcast, talking about Starfield. That's interesting, So that was part of my day today, or yesterday, I mean. I think I watched it yesterday. Yeah, other than that, I really did not check out any of the news. We do have a few other things, though, to talk about. We've got, I did see Elemental. I went and saw that on Tuesday. So we do have that to talk about. And I'm positive on it, but we'll get into it. I watched the first episode of Secret Invasion, so we'll talk about that. And yeah, we've got like 1 or 2 other small things, but nothing too big. Minecraft. Oh my gosh, my Minecraft woes. God, what a pain. Well, we'll get to all that in WIBE later. But yeah, no, I was like, hey, let's do Friday. Hey, will we do Zelda tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know. I'm definitely thinking, like, well, we should do Zelda tomorrow. Because I didn't do it today. Normally I do Zelda on Fridays and Sundays. But I also really do want to play Pikmin. Like, after all the Nintendo Direct stuff, and watching all the people's, like, all, like, those Pikmin YouTubers, Vantage Emblem, Hef, did Creative Sushi make a video on it? Of course, Arlo. Right? Watching all those videos on the Pikmin 4 trailer and Pikmin analysis. So many things I didn't catch. Some of them minor, some of them major. But it was really interesting. I just want to play Pikmin. And I have Pikmin's 1 and 2 on this thing. See? Pikmin's 1 and 2. And I also bought Portal today as well. Because the Switch sale is ending soon. And I was like, what's a game I want? Because, like, there's a big Switch sale going on right now. And it's got, like, Metroid Dread's in it. If you've never played Metroid Dread, I would recommend picking it up. It's very good. And you can get literally every other Metroid game except for Zero Mission is on, of like the the original Metroid, Metroid 2, Metroid Zero Mission, or Metroid Fusion, and Super Metroid are all on Nintendo Switch Online. The only one that's not is Zero Mission, which was a remake of Metroid 1. And I would recommend playing the remake of Metroid 1 over the original, because I played the original a few years back, and once you get going into it, like once you've got enough upgrades and stuff, it gets a lot better. But starting off the original Metroid is a nightmare. But once you get all the upgrades, and like once you have like a bunch of tanks of health, oh, it goes so much better. But I've always wanted to play Zero. I've never played Zero Mission. I've only ever played Fusion. But nope, instead they're releasing Fire Emblem on Nintendo Switch Online. Which, I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's Fire Emblem. But where's my... Where's my Oracle of Ages and Seasons? I want to play Oracle of Ages and Seasons, mainly because I've only ever played one of them. Seasons, I think. Which is the combat game, and the other one's the puzzle game. And usually I like puzzles more in Zelda games. Usually. But yeah, so let's talk about the Nintendo Direct, shall we? So the first news story from the Direct, it starts off with the Pokemon DLC. I was very pessimistic that we were going to get Pokemon DLC, but like I said in my reaction, the day before the Direct, Joe Merrick, who runs the website Cerebi, made a post that was like, hey, guess what? Pokemon stuff does actually appear in Nintendo Directs every once in a while. It's rarer, because usually they hold their own events, but it does happen. And yeah, what happens? We get Pokemon. So we got the Scarlet and Violet DLC, we got to see bits of gameplay from both of them. They both look good. Like, we've got basically an old-style region, which a lot of people think it reminds them of Johto. And yeah, I kind of agree. It does kind of remind me of Johto. But it's got like this big, like, scary mountain at the center of it. And, you know, I'm using scary in quotes there. We've got the new Pokemon that people believe are poison type based on their ability. And then they're either one of the elemental types, or they're, oh, what is it? They're either that, or they're like flying, ground, and something else. It's not normal. I don't know. Somehow it makes another circle. Because there are multiple... Because, right, everyone knows the fire, water, grass circle in Pokemon. But that's not the only circle. Like, dark, fighting, and psychic also make a circle. So Pokemon has several circles. But no, I just love that Okidogi. I still love that name so much. But, other than that, they look fine. There is the theory that, hey, if they're poison type, what if they're all evil? And I do think that is possible. Yep, that is possible that they're even though we're doing the story of Momotaro, and, you know, in Momotaro, the ogre is the villain. The fact that all three of these things are poison type is kind of suspicious. But I still do like, I think it's called Ogerpon, the new legendary for that, the teal mask. I think it looks very good. I like that design a lot. And then we got to see some of the other one, which is Blue. I don't remember the actual name of it, but I remember Blueberry Academy. And you're at Blueberry Academy. It's kind of like the Aether Foundation, but taken to its like extreme of like, hey, because the Aether Foundation was like, hey, we're gonna create this floating island where these Pokemon live, right? Like a terrarium. And this is that, but where you see like 4 ecological zones. So you've got like a snow zone, a mountain zone, a grassland zone, forest zone, desert zone. I don't remember what they actually were. I just know there were 4 of them. And it's like, okay, that looks interesting. We've got the new characters. Battling seems to be very important in this new region, right? You're probably going to have to enter some sort of school Blueberry Academy tournament thing. Okay, it'd be interesting if they take some, because if you remember the Crown Tundra in Pokemon Sword and Shield was all about legendaries, right? It was all about capturing the classic legendaries from the first generations of Pokemon, or, you know, from the previous generations. It'd be cool if this new area region play, or if this Blueberry Academy kind of redid the battle funicular from Gen 5. I don't remember what it's called, but in Gen 5, Black and White 2, you had that giant battle tournament where you could fight literally every previous trainer in the series. More or less. It'd be cool if we did that again. Because there are a lot of classic trainers that have been added. None from Gen 6. That's, you know, I like Gen 6. I defend Gen 6. I do not defend the characters in Gen 6. They are all so forgettable. But I love to see the Alola trio again. They're cool. I do like the characters from Alola. But no, I think the Blueberry Academy stuff, yeah, it looks fine. And I love that new legendary design, man. That turtle, the world turtle, or whatever it's called, looks cool. So that's going to be cool to see. I'm excited for Pokemon DLC. We did not get a release date or anything. The only thing they said is fall and holiday, I think. I want to say it was holiday. So, yeah. But that'll be here before you know it. I don't know, it would have been cool to get stuff here in summer. Like, that would have made sense. But nope. They did announce the next Splatfest for Splatoon. It is vanilla versus strawberry versus mint chocolate chip. I've seen the theory that the reason it's not vanilla versus strawberry versus chocolate, which is, you know, the classic Neapolitan flavors, the reason they didn't do that is because chocolate ink would look like poop. That has never stopped them in the past, I want to say. Because we did literally have a chocolate Splatfest that had brown ink. But also, we had... Remember Splatoon 2's first ever Splatfest? Blood versus cum? Yeah, no, I don't believe the whole, oh, brown ink looks like poo. I think the reason why they didn't do chocolate is just because we had a chocolate Splatfest. Right? Dark chocolate versus light, milk chocolate versus white chocolate. I couldn't think of milk chocolate. We are getting our ass kicked tonight. Like, really bad. But, so that's why I don't think they included chocolate. Instead, they did a little more variety and gave us mint chocolate. Which I know milk chocolate is a very divisive thing for people. Some people really like mint chocolate. Some people hate it and think it tastes like toothpaste. Even though I hate the flavor of toothpaste, I actually do like mint chocolate chip ice cream. I don't know if I'd pick it over like a cookie dough. But no, mint chocolate is good. That's the thing. I don't know what ice cream I like anymore. I don't get ice cream all that often. Or if I do, it's like those little, like, drumsticks or whatever they're called. That's it. Like, that's the only ice cream I've gotten in forever now. I don't know. I guess I'm not really a big ice cream guy. It's okay. I don't know, I do want a Fudgy the Whale, but that's... I think that's an ice cream cake. But that's a whole other thing, that's a joke. But yeah, so it's a weird Splatfest theme, but, you know, it's on brand for Splatoon. Splatoon 3 has had some weird Splatfest themes, but it's also had some great Splatfest themes. I think both the Pokemon and Zelda Splatfests were fantastic ideas. But, yeah, they've also just had some weird ones. God, that's a lot of run speed. It is weird that we didn't get Splatoon 3 DLC. Again, I fully suspect it to be coming out in September, and I would not at all be surprised if in the September Direct, if they announce it, like we get the full trailer, and then they reveal it's coming out later that day. That would not surprise me at all if that happens. So, yeah, it's fine that they didn't show it. I don't know, it is kind of weird that, like, the first part of the DLC came out, like, back in February, and we're gonna have to wait until September. Because I know there's also that Nintendo Live that's happening around that point. And and they're doing a Splatoon tournament during that, so that's another place they could show it. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm excited for the Pearl and Marina wedding DLC. Because what else would it be if it's not the wedding DLC? Next up, Detective Pikachu Returns. I've never played the original Detective Pikachu. I heard it was fine. Again, I remember Derek Bittner talking about it back in the day. At least I think I remember Derek Bittner talking about it. But I never played it. Because it was near the end of the 3DS lifespan. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But hey, it's coming out. I don't remember if we got a release date. But I know it is coming. And that's, you know, it's cool when we get it. Maybe, I don't know, part of me kind of wishes they also redid the original as well, because this looks like a sequel, so I'm sure stuff in the first one will affect the second one. But, nope, there's no way to do the first one, unless you got, I mean, I still have a 3DS, I could probably find a used copy, but it's probably expensive, because most 3DS games during the end of the 3DS's lifespan, like, never went on sale, and they made very limited editions of them, and a whole bunch of other things. Then they showed off Super Mario RPG, which is huge. It's one of those games that, you know, people have wanted for years now. But it's always been, oh, Nintendo and Square Enix don't get along anymore. Because, as the story goes, Square Enix was mad that Nintendo was making the N64 with cartridges instead of discs. So that's why Final Fantasy VII was PlayStation exclusive. And since then, Sony and Nintendo have just never gotten along. Supposedly. I don't know. I've always been kind of hesitant of that. But that's how the story goes. But hey, it looks like they've made up enough. I mean, isn't there a similar reason as to why Nintendo and Rockstar don't get along? Some bullshit like that. I know Capcom and Nintendo had a falling out because of the GameCube. And how Capcom promised Nintendo a bunch of exclusive games and then never delivered on them. Except for, like, one, which was garbage. Because Resident Evil 4 was originally supposed to be exclusive. And then it wasn't. That's a whole other thing. Hey... Jaden? How are you doing? We're talking about the Nintendo Direct from earlier this week. So, Super Mario RPG looks fantastic. They literally just took the graphics, they took the art style, and just updated it to the modern era. And it looks great. It's everything I'd want it to be. I know, like always, people are butthurt that, hey, this is a remake of an SNES game that they're charging a full $60 for. It's one of those things where it's like, I get it, but at the same time, you've been making the same argument for 15 fucking years. Nintendo's clearly not gonna listen to you now. So, I don't know, they're fighting a losing battle, and it's just, I mean, like, I get it. I get why they're making the argument, but Nintendo does not give a fuck about them. So, What you gonna do? But no, Super Mario RPG looks great. It's everything I want it to be. I've had the Waltz of the Forest stuck in my head for days now. Because, yeah, we get to do that again. I just think of Chugga Conroy singing that song when he played Super Mario RPG. Because I have tried to play Super Mario RPG like half a dozen times over the past, I don't know. How many years has it been? I have tried to play over the past, like 10 years. I've started up Super Mario RPG. Both on my own. One time I tried to follow along with Chugga Conroy's Let's Play. And I want to say that's the farthest I ever made it. Which was only, I think the farthest I ever made it was to the Star Road. So wherever that is in the game is the farthest I've ever made it in Super Mario RPG. Yeah, I've never beaten the game, but maybe this will be the time. Maybe now I finally beat Super Mario RPG. After all these years. I mean, it's more realistic than me beating Persona 5. Which is like 50 hours longer, if not longer. I don't know, Persona 5 is it's like 100 hours. I don't know, I just bought it recently, so maybe I'll find out, probably won't. Let's see. Next up, they announced that Untitled Peach game. I'm surprised they didn't give it a title. Maybe there's some sort of secret there that they don't want to reveal yet. Maybe they're deliberating between what title it gives. But yeah, I'm surprised this Peach game didn't give a title. I don't know. They really didn't show that much of it. It was just like, hey, this is a stage play. Peach has this weird flower companion. A ton of new and original enemies, which I do like. I like new enemies and I like new assets. We don't really get that many. Like, a lot of people feel like, and they are completely correct, that when it comes to Mario, Nintendo has been in a holding pattern. That, right, with the 4 new Super Mario Brothers games being very similar, with the Paper Mario games refusing to use characters other than Toads. Right, Nintendo's been in a holding pattern. But between this and Super Mario Wonder, we are seeing a fair few bits of new characters. Like, I was really surprised when Super Mario 3D World introduced the Sprixies. Right? Like, that was the first new character to be added to Mario in a while. Not that they really did anything with it. Also, there was Nabbit, but we don't talk about Nabbit. But no, that Peach game, it could be good. I don't know. I feel like we don't know much about it. Because we don't. But they're building it up, so that'll be next year. And then they announced Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is coming to Switch. I am a fan of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It is the black sheep of the franchise because it plays differently than 1 and 3. But I do like it. And I have learned that I am not alone on that. That no, other people do like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Yeah, it is the black sheep of the franchise, but no, people do like it, and I like it as well. So that's cool. I don't think we got to release it on that one. But no, it's a fun game. And if Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 are on Switch, I see no reason why they can't also put Luigi's Mansion 1. I know it did get a 3DS remake a few years ago. But, I mean, if you've got the technology to update 2, I'm sure you can they use the technology of 2 to remake 1. And now they're using the technology of 3 to remake 2. So I don't see why they can't use that same technology to remake 1 as well. Because it would actually be cool if all 3 Luigi's Mansion games are on Switch. Kind of like how all 4 Pikmin games are on Switch. Because someone did point out that since the release of Pikmin 1, every Nintendo console, mainline, I'm talking consoles, not portables, has had a copy of Pikmin 1 and 2 on it. The GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and now the Switch. Pikmin has been ported to every Nintendo console. Which is kind of cool when you think about it. Of course, I think this new version of Pikmin is probably the best way to play it. I know some people will still argue the Wii version, and I kind of get that, but... No, I'm excited for this new version. Yeah. Speaking, let's just talk about Pikmin 4. So Pikmin 4 is my second most anticipated game of the year. Right behind only Tears of the Kingdom and above Starfield. I am so excited for Pikmin 4. And so far, what we saw of it here, everything looks amazing. I am so excited for it. And there's nothing wrong with liking a game because you played it when you were young. The only problem that comes with that is when you play it as an adult, there's a chance you won't like it anymore. That's the reason I've never replayed Assassin's Creed 2. Because even though I loved Assassin's Creed 2 when I was younger, I don't know, was I a teenager then? I might have been like 13 at the oldest. Even though I loved Assassin's Creed 2, I refuse to ever play it again because I know it won't hold up. So that is a risk you're taking. But yeah, and I have replayed Dark Moon several times, and I still do like it. Like, I replayed it, maybe either the year 3 came out, or the year before 3 came out, and I did enjoy it. I don't remember when, but I have played it. I played it like, I played through the full game like 3 times, and it is really good. But I am so excited for Pikmin 4. All the new stages, the fact that we're actually going inside of the house is crazy. Because, there was speculation, like, are we going to go inside the house? Is it just a skybox? No, we're going in the house. The armored cannon beetle is inside the house. I've seen some people who hate Dark Moon personally. The multiplayer was fun, and I thought the mission-based progress was nice. Exactly. I think the mission-based progress worked nice for a portable game. It's kind of, in the new Super Mario Bros. Games on DS, Nintendo talked about one of their design philosophies was that they were making the game mission-based, right? By making the game have these, like, short, snappy levels, it made it easier to pick up and put down, right? Like, oh, you're taking this is Japan, so it's, oh, you're taking the train to work? Well, you can boot up your 3DS and play a level of New Super Mario Bros. 2, and by the time your train arrived, you'll have had enough time to do one level. No more, no less. Like, that was part of their design philosophy when making that game. And I feel like Dark Moon was kind of going for something similar. And that's kind of why I like the DS New Super Mario Bros. Games more than I like the console games. Because the console games kind of screw with that formula, and it just doesn't work as well. Oh. Let's see, what else do I have to say about Pikmin 4? I don't know, we talked about Pikmin 4 for like 30 minutes the other day. I feel like the design philosophy has gone to other series, even if they're on console games. If you can't tell me the 5-minute games of Splatoon we're not at least influenced by this. Yeah, I mean, I think that the 5-minute philosophy of Splatoon also is in part influenced by other shooter games, right? Where you want an optimal amount of time for someone to sit down and play a match, but not go too long that, they feel like they're stuck in this forever and ever. That's I think, a larger shooter philosophy, because that's how games like Call of Duty, not CSGO, but yeah, Call of Duty works specifically. And again, it depends on the game mode. And it depends on the game mode here as well. Like, if you're doing Salmon Run, those take a lot longer. That's why Nintendo in Splatoon 2 limited Salmon Run. Because those matches take longer, and they didn't want more people playing Salmon Run. So that way people would only be playing Salmon Run and not playing the multiplayer. And then they realized that wasn't a problem. And instead of fixing it in Splatoon 2, they waited until the third one to fix it. And instead implemented a whole slew of problems in 3. Like the stupid challenge modes that only run for 2 hours at like 3 a.m. in the morning. And if you miss that 3 a.m. timer, well, it's too bad, so sad. Let's see. Let's see, what else is I talk? Pikmin. I love those new glow Pikmin, the little green ghost Pikmin, which actually, someone pointed out that Chugger Conroy did actually kind of predict that, because he Let's Played either Pikmin 1 or 2 in Luigi's Mansion at the same time, and for that Let's Play, he made custom ghost green Pikmin art. But I know he's not the only one to predict a ghost green Pikmin. That's tons of other people have had that idea. But the new ghost green Pikmin look cool. I don't know. Part of me, I know we're getting a Pikmin demo next week. And part of me really hopes that we get a test of the nighttime mode in the demo. Because there are some things I'm curious about on how it works. Like, I'm pretty sure we're only going to be able to use the green Pikmin in the nighttime mode. That would not surprise me at all. But I still feel like there are other caveats to it as well that do kind of concern me, but we'll see. I don't know. Everything looks great. Being able to upgrade Otachi. Olimar. Bad ending Pikmin 1 Olimar. Because that was a theory people had. Because I guess in the story trailer a few weeks ago, they mentioned that Olimar's distress signal was like a month old. And in the original Pikmin game, you only have 30 days to save Olimar. So, yeah, this is bad ending Olimar. That's kind of wild that we're seeing a split in the Pikmin timeline. There was supposedly some document somewheres that I guess retconned Pikmin like 1 or 2 out of existence, or maybe it retconned Pikmin 2 out of existence or something like that. It was something weird like that. And I don't know if because that was Japanese, translated by Americans. I don't know if I entirely believe that. But there is definitely some sort of timeline split in this new Pikmin game. We just don't know all of the details. Yeah. What else? Being able to upgrade Otachi is a great idea. We did learn after the fact from the not Japanese, the American website, that at the start of the game, you can only have 30 Pikmin in the field at the time, and then as you play through the game, you upgrade it. So, right, you'll get an upgrade that allows you to do 60, and then probably an upgrade that allows you to do 100. So that way it's like limiting your Pikmin. Oh, I recommend the game. I love the games. My personal favorite is 3, which actually, I seem to be in the minority on that one. Most people's favorite is 2. I think 2 goes on a little too long. But they're all on Switch now, which was a fantastic review. But I love them all. I'm so excited for this new one. What else? So yeah, it looks like the number of Pikmin is limited at the start of the game. Because normally in the other games, you start off with 100. So right off the bat, you can have 100 Pikmin in the field. Of course, you have to build up to that number, and it takes like a day or 2. Whereas you're getting a limit in this game. But the other limit they're doing is they're only allowing you to take out 3 types of Pikmin at a time. So in the original Pikmin game, there were only 3 types of Pikmins, red, blue, and yellow. And then in the sequel, they added purple and white. And then in the sequel, and then in Pikmin 3, they got rid of purple and white, except for the challenge mode, and added winged and rock. So it looks like in order to like try to balance things out more, instead of being able to take out all of those Pikmin, right? I think there are 9 types now. Let me see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there are 9 types of Pikmin now, including ice and glow. They're instead balancing it by only allowing you to take out 3 types at a time. Which I know I've seen some people say they don't like that, because, you know, it can be kind of unforgiving that they're only allowing you 3 types at a time. That 5 would be more balanced. But no, I actually don't mind it. I don't mind being able to take 3 out at a time, because it forces you to choose. Like, do you want to take out blues to traverse in water, or do you want to take out ice to freeze the water? Do you want to take out purples to carry heavy objects, or would you rather have a bunch of whites that are immune to poison and also faster? Do you want wings or white? Because they're both faster, but in different ways. I've always scared on my playthroughs, so I would make an escape. Excess Pikmin. It's possible to have one go. It is possible to have Pikmin go extinct, but when they do, you get a single bud back. So, like, if you lose them all, the game will restart you with just one bud. You have to build up the army again. Yep. I've only ever seen that cutscene from doing a minimum Pikmin run. Like, can you beat the game with only, like, something like 46 Pikmin or something like that? It's hard. It's hard. But no, I think the change of making 3 Pikmin at a time is a good idea. Part of me wonders if there'll be an upgrade that'll allow you to take 5. But if there isn't, there isn't. If there is, cool. But no, I feel like it forces you to be more strategic. So I'm fine with it. I don't know. Pikmin trying to be harder is something people have a lot of mixed feelings on. Because I know people didn't like Pikmin 3's attempt, which was to limit the amount of Pikmin you could take out into the field. Because normally it's 100, and the ultra spicy difficulty of Pikmin 3, you could only take out 60. And some people did not like that. I thought it was fine. But that's where the True Spice mod comes in. Oh my gosh. But no, I'm definitely streaming the Pikmin demo next week. I think it comes out on Tuesday, so after I get off work Tuesday, we're definitely streaming it. Let's see, what was next in the Direct? Vampire Survivors? So Vampire Survivors was the hit indie game of last year. Everyone who I knew played it, absolutely loved it. I knew several people who made it their game of the year. But I played a little bit of it on Xbox, but I was waiting for it to come to Switch. I had been patiently waiting, and I even brought this up back in March. I brought up hey, why hasn't Vampire Survivors come to Switch yet? But no, it's finally coming to Switch in August. I'm super excited. The game's only $5. And it's one of those things, kind of like a Hollow Knight, where it's $5, but it's the most bang for your buck you will possibly get out of a video game. And if you're playing the mobile port's free. So you don't even have to pay for that. The ads aren't intrusive. It's maybe the best mobile game I have played in years. It's such a great game, but I don't want to play it on mobile. I want to play it on Switch, because the Switch is my everything console. So I've been waiting patiently. It's finally happening. So instead of putting 100 hours into Persona 5R, looks like I'm putting 100 hours into Vampire Survivors. But it's from what I played of it, it's really addictive and really enjoyable. I just don't really use my Xbox that much. And the mobile, again, it's mobile. It's fine. Penny's Big Breakaway. So this was the game being made by the studio that did Sonic Mania. And it's their new game. And it definitely takes that classic 90s visual style. It definitely reminds me of Studiopolis Zone from Sonic Mania. But it's a 3D platformer, kind of in the veins of your Hats of Time or your Yooka-Laylees. It looks good. It looks really good. It's definitely one of those hidden gems that because I think this is where it got announced for the first time. But now I feel like everyone's excited for it, and they have the right to, because, yeah. But yeah, it definitely... I've still never played a Hat in Time. I did play Yooka-Laylee, though. And that was... I wish it was better. I heard the Impossible Lair was good. I don't know. I never played the Impossible Layer. But the original Yooka-Laylee just... Because Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Layer was inspired by Donkey Kong Country. And I heard it was actually pretty good. I really should get around to playing that. I bet I would not be surprised if it's on sale right now. But yeah, no, this Big Penny's Breakaway, or Penny's Big Breakaway, looks pretty good. I think it's coming out next year, so we've still got a while to wait. But yeah, I'm super excited for it, because I was kind of disappointed to find out, or when we find out that the Sonic Mania devs were leaving Sega, or they weren't being asked to make the next big Sega project. But it's cool that they're doing something like this. This feels like another perfect Kickstarter project, but Kickstarter kind of seems like it's going the way of the dodo. I don't know. The last big Kickstarter project I can think of was Mina the Hollower, and that comes out this year, doesn't it? At least at the moment, they're saying it comes out at the year. Oh, Sonic Superstars looks great. I didn't see the they did a Sonic Central earlier today, and I assume they talked about it there. I didn't watch it, but yeah, no, everything we've seen from Sonic Superstars looks great. I'm excited to play some more Sonic, because I did not love Frontiers. I didn't despise it, but I definitely didn't love it. I should put some more time into it. I really should. Because I only played a few hours of it before I moved on to whatever else. But no, Superstars looks good. Had the exact same experience with Frontiers. Yeah, it was fine. I don't know. It could have been great, and it was just kind of underwhelming. And then the Colors remake sucked, which... There's another game. I really liked Colors when I was younger. I thought Sonic Colors was the best Sonic game. And then the remake came out, and I was like, oh gosh, I really don't want to play this. Because this will ruin all my nostalgia for Sonic Colors. But yeah, still, in my head, Sonic Colors is good. Let's see, what was next in the Nintendo Direct? Mario Kart 8 DLC. We're getting DLC Wave 5. The new track they announced was called Squeaky Clean Sprint. And yeah, it's, you know, Mario Kart 8 had that toy box level. I think it's not, is it called Ribbon Road? It's something like that. And that's actually a very fun level. I really like that toy box level. It's very well designed, you know, Kung Fu, Lakitu, and all that fun stuff. So this new Squeaky Clean Sprint kind of reminds me of that, but instead of being in like a toy room, you're in the bathroom. So that's kind of whatever. But you know, it allows for underwater segments. Are we going to get flushed down the toilet? Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if we like glide over a toilet or something. I don't know. I'd love to see the toilet bowl be like a U-bend, for kind of like one of the U-bends on Neo Bowser City. That would be really funny. It's not gonna happen, but oh, yeah, that'd be funny. But a Mario level with a toilet. But yeah. Other than that, the 3 new characters they've added. Petey Piranha is kind of weird. Like, I know he was in the GameCube version. But if we had gotten any character from a previous Mario game, I would have thought we would have got Funky Kong first. Because everybody loves Funky Kong. But no, instead they gave us Petey Piranha first. Wiggler is an interesting character. Because out of all the characters from Mario Kart 7, the only 2 that have not been brought to Mario Kart Tour are Wiggler and the Queen Bee. And the Queen Bee is definitely not coming back. But Wiggler, that's interesting. But what I will say I love about Wiggler is that we're going to have a Wiggler drive the Wiggler cart. I know it got nerfed in the meta, but it's still decent. Technically, it didn't even get nerfed. It's just everything else around it got buffed. But no, a Wiggler riding a Wiggler cart is a very funny idea. I want to say I even predicted Wiggler coming back. I want to say back when Birdo was announced, I said, wouldn't it be funny to see Wiggler riding a Wiggler cart? And sure enough, that's exactly what we're getting. So I'm excited for Wiggler. Will I use him? No, but he's cool. And then finally, Kamek. People have wanted Kamek forever in a Mario Kart game. Specifically since he was cut from Mario Kart 64. Because, yeah, he's one of the few cut characters. And he was in Mario Kart Tour, so people were really hopeful. And it looks like all that hoping and dreaming finally paid off. Because he's now here. And, yeah. And I'm sure him being, like, a prominent character in the Mario movie kind of helps with that as well. Yeah, I'm excited. The DLC, if I have to guess, it's coming out sometime in July. I don't know when it... I wouldn't be... Maybe August, maybe early August. But if I had to guess, I'd say mid to late July. I don't think it would come out the same week as Pikmin, but maybe like the week before Pikmin. And then after that, there's only one more DLC. Unless all the speculation is correct, and they're actually going to be doing even more DLC. Because there has been a lot of speculation that they're going to be doing more than 6 waves. Because of certain key information details that used to be in trailers that aren't in trailers anymore. So, we'll see. We got a new WarioWare game. This is a sequel to WarioWare... Is it called WarioWare... Shake It? Oh, what was that game called? There were 2 WarioWare games on Wii. And I never actually owned it, but I had a cousin who did. And yeah, maybe it was called Smooth Moves. I think that was it. And yeah, I had a cousin who owned it. And you know, it was motion-controlled Wario. And this new one being called WarioWare Move It, it's, you know, kind of similar. It's kind of aping off that same vibe. And to that end, no, it looks kind of cool. You know, it's very motion control heavy. It reminds me of some of those, like there was one micro game in there that's literally just a Mario Party 8 mini game, but it's one of my favorite Mario Party 8 mini games for as stupid as it can be. It always holds a special place in my heart. The soda shaking one? Yeah. Oh, nostalgia. Gosh, I love Mario Party 8. What else? What else? I can't... There were references to Mario 64 DS. There was a Pikmin reference. But there's all sorts of weird, fun mini-games. You know, it looks fine. I'm not a huge... I'm not a huge WarioWare fan. My favorite is still DIY on the DS. But, yeah, they were fun games. Remember the Wonder Leaks people? Really feel Walu... Was that a rumor that Waluigi's going to be added to Super Mario Wonder? I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with Wario and Waluigi being in it. I mean, this is the first time we've ever seen Daisy in a mainline Mario game as a playable character. Because the last time Daisy was in a mainline Super Mario game was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy back in 1989. So it's been a long time since we've seen Princess Daisy. So seeing her here, it's kind of cool. But yeah, if they decide to add Wario and Waluigi, if they decide to add Rosalina as well, I'd be cool with that. I mean, we've got 5 characters so far. Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, Daisy, and Yoshi. A leaker uploaded a couple of emojis before it was announced, leaking different aspects of the game, like the elephant and a daisy, but there was a purple square, and people thought it was Waluigi, but it was just the color scheme. Okay, that makes sense. But I still wouldn't be surprised if Waluigi and Wario make it in. I mean, when was the last time we got a Wario game. It's been a Wario 2D platformer, I mean. It's been a long time. I know there was, again, Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. And then there's Wario Land 3 and the Virtual Boy WarioWare game, which we do not talk about. That would be, I kind of wish they would just add Virtual Boy to the Switches Online and just put every Virtual Boy game on there, allow them to be in black and white as well as black and red. That would just be a really neat piece of Nintendo history. I also would not be surprised if the Virtual Boy shows up in Pikmin 4. The trailer for Pikmin 4 had the Game Boy in it. Had the Game Boy Advanced SP. I would love to see the Virtual Boy get a reference there. Because, it got a reference in Tomodachi Life. People worship the Virtual Boy as a god. Because Tomodachi Life is weird like that. And that's what everybody loves about it. That's what I love about it, anyways. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we should talk about Super Mario Wonder. I think it looks great. They are definitely taking a lot of influences from the new Super Mario Brothers game. Like, this isn't insanely different, but we've got a new art style. They're allowing Mario to trip acid this time, which that's got a lot of potential to it. I think the whole creative level gimmick is very interesting. All those wonder seeds and wonder flowers that make the pipes all loopy. I'm sure they'll do all sorts of other crazy creative things. See, I like the new Super Mario Brothers games, but I'm also very tired of them. They just stayed around for too long. We had 15 years of new Super Mario Brothers games. So I kind of got sick of them. Even though after the reveal of this new Mario game, I do kind of want to go back and play New Super Mario Bros. U. Mainly because that's the one that's easiest to get. Right? If I want to play Wii, I have to dig out the Wii U. If I want to play either of the DS games, I have to dig out a 3DS. But if I want to play U, it's on the Switch. So I have kind of been thinking about wanting to play U again. You know what I want to do in U? Which I've never actually done before. I want to get all the star coins. I've never done that before. And that'd be a cool thing to do. But I probably won't. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think the map we have one more map and then the map rotation changes. But no, I think the one thing I am disappointed with this new Mario game, I'm disappointed the life system is coming back. I gave Mario Odyssey a lot of credit for getting rid of the life system. And I want to say even Super Mario Bowser's Fury didn't have a life system in it. I could be wrong about that. I may be misremembering things. But I want to say Bowser's Fury didn't have a life system either. So I am kind of disappointed this new game does have one. Because I hate life systems. I gave a lot of credit to Crash Bandicoot for getting rid of their life system. Because life systems are such an archaic relic of a pre-console age of video games. I don't know why we still do them. But see, the problem is if you're getting rid of them, you have to replace them with something. And unless coins all of a sudden mean something, I don't see why they'd get rid of them. I want some kind of Minecraft hardcore style Mario difficulty where you run out of lives and start. I'd actually be I'd be fine with that as an optional thing, kind of like Minecraft hardcore mode. Yeah. Or you know what? No, you know what they do? They call it speed running mode. Because that's that Penny's Big Break has a speed running mode in it. That's how you do it. You add a speed running mode to the game that encourages you to play as fast as possible. And if you game over, then it restarts the timer and restarts you from the beginning. That's how you do it. I'd be totally down with that. I probably wouldn't play it, but I think that would be a really cool thing to add. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Speedrunner mode. Didn't Metroid Dread kind of add something like that? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. Someone pointed out that you can tell how much some of these creators care about their games if they add or care about their community if they add a speedrunning mode. I don't remember what game they were referencing. Was it Bug Snacks? I think was it Bug Snacks that has a speedrunning mode that like automatically skips the cutscenes, that has an in-game timer. It's an interesting idea. And the few times I've seen it in execution, it does seem to work well. But no, I think this is the first Mario game I am excited for since Odyssey. Well, okay, that's a lie. I was pretty excited for Super Mario Maker 2. And I did, in like the 4 months after Mario Maker 2 launch, I did have a lot of fun with that game. Yeah, Super Mario Maker 2 was a lot of fun. I wish they were better with the updates. I wish they did a better job at updating that. Yeah, Hat in Time is another good example. It has a speedrunning version, and that has a timer. Yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, no, I'm just excited for a new Mario game. I don't remember who pointed it out, but someone did bring to my attention the fact that this new Mario Brothers game comes out the same day as the new Spider-Man game. So I'm now like, oh shit. Oh no. I have to choose between a new Mario game and a new Spider-Man game because they both release October 20th. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't know. To be fair, Pikmin comes out the same day as the Barbie movie, which is why I bought tickets for the day before to go see it at midnight. And then I'm going to play Pikmin 3 or Pikmin 4 on the whatever day it is, the 21st. And then I'm going to go see Oppenheimer the day after. So that's my plan at the moment. God, I'm excited for Pikmin. But I'm going to have to choose between Spider-Man and Mario. And I don't know which one wins that fight. Brings me back to Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. Or The Last of Us 2 in Xenoblade. Didn't that actually end up not happening? I don't know. The Doom Animal Crossing thing actually worked very well. And it was kind of one of those scenarios where, like, hey, this game's coming out on this day, and this, right, like, one game is coming out on only Nintendo consoles, and the other game is coming out on everything but Nintendo consoles. So I guess it's kind of a similar thing. But the difference is, I didn't actually want to play Doom Eternal, whereas here, I want to play both of these games. So that's going to be a hard choice. But I'm super excited. Well, it's going to be harder to get the money as well. I mean, that's I don't think the new Mario game is $70, but I know the Spider-Man game is. So that's $170 worth of video games. Or 130, I mean. Oh, that's hard. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll figure it out when the time comes. The map's just updated. I'll be right back. Just imagine walking into a GameStop saying, do you have a copy of Doom? Yeah. You have a copy of Animal Crossing? Yeah, I'll take both. Yeah, I mean, I knew some people who did that. I knew some people who started Animal Crossing in the morning, did all their tasks for the day, and then started playing Doom later that day. So yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta go do something real quick. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. And then we'll continue on. And we'll talk about, oh, I saw the new Pixar movie, so we'll talk about that and a few other things. So yeah, I'll be right back. what are their maps? Hagglefish and Wahoo. Ooh. Again, sometimes I feel like there are only like 5 maps in this game. Because I get Wahoo World and Mincemeat Metalworks so often. It's kind of ridiculous. So the one piece of non-video game news I want to talk about today is about Smosh. So, you know, the YouTube channel Smosh, run by Ian Hecox and Anthony Padilla since 2005. I was a huge fan of Smosh back in the day. I started making YouTube videos because of Smosh and Super Mario Logan. 13 years ago now? Yeah. I was a huge fan of Smosh back in the day. Haven't thought about them. Actually, I would say I haven't thought about them in years. But that'd be a lie. Because I watched one of their Do Not Laugh challenges with Gus Johnson. You know, back before Gus Johnson got canceled. And that was hilarious. And some of those other Do Not Laugh challenges are also really funny. I think his name is Shane. Is hilarious. Also, I know they've been reading Reddit posts recently, and when I was doing that puzzle last week, one of their Reddit post videos showed up on my timeline, and I ended up listening to it. And yeah, that actually wasn't bad either. They did a pretty decent job at covering those. So, Smosh, I feel like, has been kind of on the up and up recently. Even though I fell off of Smosh... I don't know, maybe 2012? Nah, 2012 is too... 2012 is probably too early. Probably, maybe like 2014. I don't know. I fell out of Smosh a long time ago. It's been many years. But recently they have been seeing a resurgence. And, you know, at some point, Anthony left Smosh to go make it on his own. And he's also been making great content. His, interview series, where, you know, he's interviewed all sorts of people. The one that I remember watching was his Dream one. Kind of out of curiosity, but I've seen him do other stuff as well. Has actually been a fairly successful series. So it was really interesting when the news broke this week that Ian and Anthony are reuniting, and they now own Smosh once again. So I kind of listened to the story about what happened. Basically, so there was a period. Okay, to make a long story short, many years ago, Facebook lied and told people that videos on Facebook were getting a lot of views. So as a result, a bunch of companies like Smosh, like Machinima, like College Humor, moved a lot of their efforts over to making videos for Facebook. And then people found out all those things were a lie. Nobody was watching videos on Facebook. And now these companies lost a bunch of money. So they had to get investors to come in and support them. Right? They needed external investors. For a company like Rooster Teeth, they got bought up by Warner Brothers. But, you know, a lot of other companies had smaller investors. But investors fuck people over. Machinima went out of business. College Humor lost their investors and almost went under. I guess Smosh, even though I did not know this, also lost a lot of their money through their investors and almost went under. But they were saved by Rhett and Link, of all people. I have never watched Good Mythical Morning. I've seen clips every once in a while. I know that OCD song, even though it is very factually inaccurate, is super catchy. But I know very little about Rhett and Link. But I guess they saved Smosh. And now it's been a few years, and Ian and Anthony was like, I want to come back, but if I do, we have to own Smosh. So Ian went to Rhett and Link, explained the situation, and they were willing to sell them back Smosh. And I think that's a great move. Because since College Humor has gone independent in the past few years, since Sam Reich has taken over control of the company, College Humor has sort of been in their golden era. Or, let's not say golden, let's use Renaissance. I know people don't like some of those terms, but let's use Renaissance. Dimension 20, Game Changer, Make Some Noise, Breaking News, Total Forgiveness, Actually, which I think there was a new episode tonight, and maybe I'll watch that later, after the stream. College Humor has been in a renaissance, making some of the best content of their history. And now I kind of hope Smosh does the same thing. I would love to see Smosh succeed now that, they own themselves again. There's no external marketing company coming to buy them up. They have complete creative freedom. And I think they are kind of like how College Humor did Dropout, which was, a paid subscription service. It's like $5-6 a month. It's cheap. It's basically an alternative to like a Patreon. I think Smosh might be doing something similar. And yeah, I actually, even though I have not watched these guys' content in years, with like one or two exceptions, I actually do hope they find great success. I really do. I am hopeful for them. And I do wish them the best of luck. Because yeah, getting creative and intellectual property rights over your content again seems in the modern day, at least if College Humor is the example to go by, it can be very liberating. And we're seeing all those problems with Rooster Teeth right now, and I wonder if some of those are as a result of them still being owned by Warner Brothers. I know there was a talk that Warner Brothers was trying to sell Rooster Teeth a few years ago, like during the pandemic, and that just didn't happen. It also makes me I don't watch his stuff anymore. But I want to say the Game Theorist also sold off his channel recently. I mean, he's still working there. It's just he doesn't own it anymore. And so I do kind of wonder, like, is MatPat going to get screwed over? I don't know. MatPat is a very business-savvy guy. Everything I've seen from him and his wife, I also have to give credit to his wife, Steph. They are very on the pulse of what makes popular YouTube videos. They worked for Smosh for a little bit. I know they did some consulting work. So I do have hopes that, they're going to come in, or that, maybe MatPat knows what he's doing. He probably does. He knows the game better than most people. So yeah, I hope that Ian and Anthony, I hope MatPat doesn't, I don't hate MatPat. I know some people are sick of his stick, and I totally get it. I totally get why people find him annoying. But I do hope... Alright, I don't wish ill will upon these guys. MatPat has done nothing that makes me despise him. I don't know, didn't he support Autism Speaks that one time? And fuck Autism Speaks. But, yeah, everyone's got problems. But no, I really do hope this gives Smosh their renaissance with Anthony, and I'm sure Anthony will still be making his interview content, assuming it's what he wants to make. I don't know. These were guys that I used to love coming home from school every Friday and watching their newest video. I want them to be successful. Sure, have they fucked up multiple times? Has everything they put out been gold? God, no. And yes, they have fucked up multiple times. But I want them to succeed because, they haven't been outed as pedophiles yet. I saw someone with a bingo card that was like, oh, here's my bingo card of people who have been outed as pedophiles. And they had there was 10 things marked off. And I want to say both Ian and Anthony and Rhett and Link were on that. There's also someone else who has a bingo card of events in 2023, and they actually got bingo today because of the Russian coup that's happening with the Wagners, something like that, right? There's a coup going on in Russia potentially, and that gave them bingo between that and the submarine. So that's kind of the gift of prophecy, man. It is a terrible curse, and that's it. But yeah, no, I really do wish the best for Smosh. Will I start watching more of their stuff? Probably not. Again, it was a long time ago. But yeah, that Shane is fucking funny, man. That's what I gotta say about that. Shane is really funny. So I guess that takes us to WIBE. So what have I been playing? I played some Minecraft. I went to a mansion, a woodland mansion, because one of the armor trims I needed was Vex. Also, they did update the game, and yes, I was able to get the achievement, you know, the clay pot achievement. Yep, they fixed that bug in the newest update, so that was cool. But, so I go to the abandoned mansion. There is not in the abandoned mansion spawn I got, there was not a single chest. So I traveled like 7,000 blocks for nothing. So then I did it again. I traveled 7,000 blocks back, and then traveled another 7,000 blocks in a different direction. Like the first time I went north, the second time I went west, and I found a second woodland mansion, and at that second woodland mansion, I found a single Vex armor trim. I got lucky. I got one, so that's one less armor trim I need. I think I talked last week about how I invaded the ancient city, and I got Ward in Silence. So that leaves 2 armor trims for me to get. Snout, which comes from the Piglin Bastions, and, is it called Eye? Which comes from the End Cities. I found Snout. I invaded 2 more Bastions. And finally, I think it was the 4th Bastion I raided, finally had a copy of Snout. And then I fell into lava. Yep, as I was fleeing with the thing of Snout, I fell into lava and lost everything. But I found another. Yep, I found another. So it's crazy that was the hardest one to get. That was Silence, the best looking and yet rarest armor trim in the game, was easier to get than Snout, the Bastion one. But I did get it. So the only armor trim I have to do is Eye, which means I have to beat the Ender Dragon. And so far on the realm I'm playing on, we have not done the Ender Dragon. Maybe we'll do it this weekend. Maybe we'll do it on Sunday. So yeah, and then once I have that, I've got all the armor trims. I did find a sniffer egg. I haven't done it yet, but I do have the egg. So with that, yeah, that's all 3 achievements. I just gotta find 1 more armor trim. Yep, Minecraft achievement hunt. That Vex, God, just not finding Ace. Because the Vex, thing is usually found in, like, there's, like, a wrestling room in Woodland Mansions. And that's, like, the best place to find it. The first Woodland Mansion I went to didn't have a single one of those rooms. Didn't have a single bedroom. Nothing. The second Woodland Mansion I went to only had one of those rooms. They had one of the wrestling rooms, and that's where I found it. So yeah, I think that's been the only game I've been playing this week. You know, I played a little Splatoon, not much. I'm still in A rank. I'm not really stressing about getting back to S, even though I really should be. Have I been doing any other video games? Like I said, I bought Pikmin 1 and 2, and I really want to play Pikmin 1 and 2, but we're going to do it on stream. Of course, if we weren't in the middle of Tears of the Kingdom, I would just say, let's do it tomorrow. Right? I would just be like, oh, let's play it. Especially because we can beat Pikmin 1 in a single stream. Probably. I know you... So even someone who has never played a Pikmin game before can probably beat Pikmin 1 in like 6 hours. And I've played Pikmin 1 like 3 times, so I can probably beat it in, yeah. Did I say 6 hours? I said 6 hours, right? I can probably beat it in like 4. I don't know. The only thing that I'm worried about in Pikmin 1 is the final boss. Pikmin 2, on the other hand, has a whole cavalcade of horrors, being the burrowing snagrets, the mana legs, the Titan Dweevil, the water wraith in the entirety of the submerged castle. There are so many things to be horrified about in Pikmin 2. But I'm excited to play it, because Pikmin 2, like, Pikmin 1, this will be my 4th time playing it. Pikmin 2, on the other hand, this will be my 2nd. I've only ever played the game one other time. Because Pikmin 2 is one of those few games that I think is actually too long. There's too much content in Pikmin 1. Or in Pikmin 2, I mean. Mainly, it goes on for too long. That's the big problem. Is that, like, you get to the end of the game, and then it just keeps going to get what is basically the true ending. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, Pikmin 2 is so much longer. And Pikmin 3 is still my favorite. I don't know, maybe I'll replay Pikmin 2 and I'll just absolutely love it. But I just remember some of those dungeons. Specifically, there's like the one, I want to say the one with the man-at legs. It's just so long. And it can really just draw out. I want to say it's like 15 floors. Maybe it's 12, maybe the final dungeon's 15 floors. Either way, it just keeps going. Oh god, and then dealing with careening Dorichi bugs and Gatling groinks and... Oh god, there's so much shit in Pikmin 2 to worry about. And in Pikmin 3, I know like the back of my hand, so I don't think we'll have any problem with that. Yeah, we'll have no problem with Pikmin 3 whatsoever. I really do like Pikmin 3. I do think it's my favorite. But no, that's the goal is we'll hopefully maybe beat Zelda by July. Even if we beat it in early July, that's fine. And then we'll turn around and do all 3 Pikmin games. That's the plan at the moment. So yeah. Yeah, we've still got Zelda to play, so that'll take up more of our time. And then yeah, at some point I'm going to play Portal 1 and 2. Or at least, yeah, at some point I'll get around to it. I don't know, I've been on an old indie game kick recently, right? We played Inside a few weeks ago. And I know Inside's not that old, but it's still relatively... You know, it's been a few years. And I want to say, the developer who did Inside Playdead announced their new game at Summer Games Fest this year, or something like that. We got some more info, or something along those lines. So let's see, before we get into the movies and the TV show stuff, I did do some soda stuff. Mountain Dew, you know, it's around that time of year where Mountain Dew puts out Baja Blast once again. And when they do re-release Baja Blast, they usually release some new flavors. Last year's flavors kind of sucked. They did the pineapple one again, and they replaced the fruit punch flavor with... I don't even remember what they replaced the fruit punch flavor with. But instead, this year, the new Mountain Dew Baja Blast flavors are passion fruit punch, and Caribbean... Is it Caribbean something? Passion fruit punch and Caribbean splash. So passion fruit punch is obviously passion fruit flavored, and it's like a purple one. And Caribbean splash, on the other hand, is, I want to say, guava flavored. So between the two, I'd probably like Caribbean splash more, mainly because it has more flavor. Caribbean splash, to me, it kind of reminds me of a peach flavor, which I know some people fucking hate peaches. I'm whatever on them. And I know there is that Lightning Peach KFC Mountain Dew, but this kind of reminds me of that. This kind of reminds me of like a peach flavored Mountain Dew, which I know is weird because it's guava flavored, but no, that's the comparison I'm going to use. And so I think that one's fine. The passion fruit one's a little more generic. Its flavor profile isn't as strong, in my opinion. I don't know. I've had 2 of the guava ones and 1 of the passion fruit ones. So I definitely have less of a hold on it. But yeah. And then, of course, I think they also just released normal Baja Blast. I don't know. I didn't see any at the store, but normally when they do this around the summer. I'm still disappointed I never found that popsicle one. Because they did a popsicle Mountain Dew that was like melted popsicle flavored, and I never actually found a copy of it. So, I guess that brings me to... So, since we're talking about soda, I guess that brings me to my soda story. So, I've talked in the past about how I collect sodas. Most of the stuff is just random shit. It's just random bullshit. You know, like, hey, guess what? Mountain Dew put out a new Halloween flavor this year. I'm just gonna... When I buy a 12-pack of cans, I take one of the cans and put it on my shelf. Right? It's usually just shit like that. And, you know, I try to get a bunch of different things. I've got a lot of weird things. Like, I have the Peeps-flavored Pepsi. I've got Zima. I've got Crystal Pepsi. Right? I have some normal things. I have some weird things. The rarest thing in my collection is Ecto Cooler, which was a really cool get. And, yeah, it's the one thing I didn't touch in the following story. But, so, for the past week or so, somewheres in my collection, I've had a leak. Something was leaking. Because I was like walking by where I keep my display of sodas, and it was sticky on the floor. And like I could see a trail coming down like because it's on the top of a bookshelf. And don't get me, no books got ruined. Don't even worry about that. No books got ruined. But so I saw... Just freaking kill me. God, you're awful at this. Oh, see, it's one of your buddies that's freaking out. But so I saw like there was a trail, like something sticky, and I was like, ah, fuck, something's leaking. So I look through everything, I clean everything up, and like the only thing that, like, yeah, some books did get touched. It was just the spines. It was just the spines. They all cleaned off very nice. No, nothing got water damage. Well, okay, that's technically not true, but let's not talk about that. Let's not worry about that. That's not the fun part of the story. So I pull out everything, and I eventually figure out what's leaking is my new Coke. You know, new Coke, the Coke that was the new flavor of Coke that everybody hated. That was what was leaking. And I was like, okay, I finally found the leak. So I pull it off my shelves, and I, like, put it, like, somewhere else. I stored it away in the back of my kitchen until I was like, I'll figure out something to do with you. The next day, I'm walking by my bookshelf, cleaned everything off. There's another leak. Something is still leaking. And I'm like, what the fuck? I knew it was a Coke product. It was either a Coke or a Pepsi. Because Mountain Dews are usually, like, colorful or clear, right? Mountain Dews are, like, a bright red or a bright blue or like a clear, like the Halloween ones are like white. So I was like, I know it's not a Mountain Dew. It's the color of a Coke or a Pepsi. Like, tasting it, because it was like dripping. Tasting it, it just tasted like Coke. So I was like, I don't think it's the cinnamon Coke or the cinnamon Pepsi. But I took those off the shelves anyways. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep looking. Oh, hey, look, this is just this random, like, weird flavor of Coke. You know, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this, like, Coke Dream or whatever. So I take off everything, and nothing seems to be leaking. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I think I got it. But you know what? I really don't want this to happen again. Like, I was able to prevent things from getting ruined this time. That's not going to happen next time if something leaks. So I was like, finally, after years of having this, you know, relatively small collection. There's not even like 20 cans. I was like, you know, maybe it's finally time I empty out the cans. You know, I make little punctures in the cans, drain out all the liquid, and then I'm just displaying the cans. So that's what I did today. I spent a few hours cleaning everything up, making sure everything looks nice, and then draining the cans. Draining the cans, you got some really strong flavors. All the Halloween Mountain Dews. Oh, that one tasted like Sour Patch Kids. That one tasted like candy apple. That one tasted like Sweet Tarts. Like, you can just smell it in the flavor. The Fire Pepsi and Cinnamon Cokes were not bad. However, the Hot Cheetos Mountain Dew was awful. That one burned my nose just to smell it. I was like, oh god, this sucks. And I came to something, after emptying all these soda cans, I realized something. So when draining Coke and Pepsi cans, they suck. They are a pain in the ass to drain. They don't all come out in one go. You know, they're really stingy. Draining Coke and Pepsi cans is awful. Draining Mountain Dew cans is okay. You know, they kind of go off well enough. You know, you don't get everything out in one go, but if you run a little hot water over the can and, like, increase the air pressure, it'll scoot the rest out. So I was like, okay, not bad. The Mountain Dews didn't... The only Mountain Dew that gave me any trouble was the oldest one in the collection. I think that's the Dew SA. That one gave me some trouble. And I want to say I didn't taste any of these. The only one I was tempted to taste was the Baja Punch, just because that was that's maybe the best flavor of Mountain Dew ever. Even better than, I think, Baja Blast, but that's a personal thing. But other than that, I didn't actually, like, try anything. Because some of these sodas are old. And I didn't empty out, like, any of the bottles. So, like, the Zima, the official branded Nuka-Cola, the Crystal Pepsi, nope, those are all still intact. Those are all still fine. So Cokes and Pepsi sucked. Mountain Dews were okay. But the best ones to empty out were the Dr. Peppers. I have 2 Dr. Peppers, and they emptied out no problem, no questions asked, no issues. So that was good. That was good. That was an easy, no problem solution. But that was it. Those were the only 2 that were easy. Everything else I had at least a little struggle with. And honestly, the worst one was probably the Pepsi Nitro. Like, it starts really strong. Like, the Pepsi Nitro starts off with, like, a very, like, fast, intense spray. But when you get down to that, like, head of foam, it just sucks. Yeah, so I cleaned off the entire shelf. I took care of everything, and yeah, the display's looking nice again. And I only ruined a single book. It wasn't even the one good thing is it wasn't a book I liked. So. Yeah, that was my day today. That's why we didn't stream Zelda today. That and one other stupid fucking thing that I don't want to talk about. It was just some bullshit. So yeah. So I guess we should talk about Elemental. So Elemental is Pixar's new movie. And, you know, I haven't seen anyone too excited for this. I don't think it's doing well in the box office. But I was like, it looked fine. And having watched it, I actually did kind of like it. Yeah, no, it was actually pretty good. Do I recommend it over Spider-Verse? Of course not. God, no, I'd go see Spider-Verse like a dozen more times before I watch this one again. But I didn't hate this one at all. I will say the marketing for this movie has been awful. The marketing for this movie has basically been like, hey, it's a city where, you know, elements are living things, you know, the classical fire, water, earth, and wind. And, you know, they're people. And hey, isn't this funny comedy about a water guy dating a fire girl? Whackity schmackity doo. And, like, the movie is that. That is true, right? That does happen. The water guy dates the fire girl. Even though I should switch that. Because the fire girl is the main character. Which I am glad that the fire girl was the main character. Because when the movie is being a romance movie between a water guy and a fire girl, it's whatever. But when the movie is being about the fire girl and her family, emigrating to a new country, starting a new life, and the Fire Girl trying to live up to her father's expectations, and, you know, struggling with where she fits in with the world. Is she a bad daughter because she's not filling out her father's dreams? Then it's really good. That's the part of the movie that they almost completely left out of the advertising. But it's the best part of the movie. Because this entire movie is a metaphor. Because even though it's about a fire guy or a fire girl and a water guy, it's a metaphor for... I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Korean immigrants. Even though their language is called Fire-ish, you know, like Fire Irish, I'm pretty sure they draw a lot upon Korean culture. So, yeah, it's Korean, you know, about being a Korean immigrant. You know, Disney is in that era of generational trauma, right? Encanto was all about Hispanic generational trauma. Or, you know, Latin, whatever word you want to use. It was about generational trauma. Turning Red was also generational trauma. Yeah, this Elemental is all about Korean generational trauma. And being an immigrant and living up to your parents who fled another country for a better life. How do you live up to those expectations? And when it's doing that, it's really well. And yes, it does eventually work in the romance plot of it, where, because the Korean dad doesn't want his daughter dating a white man. I'm just assuming, I don't know what the actor, I don't recognize any of the actors in this movie, but I'm assuming Wade the water guy is a white guy. And yeah, to that end, it's like, okay, well, right, she does, they like explicitly say it. Like, when the grandmother dies, and this happens like 5-10 minutes in the movie, her last words are, date a fire guy. So, yeah, and then I know there's one of the clip that's going around that's like, don't date out, like, elements don't mix, don't date someone else outside of your race. I honestly, as a metaphor for race, I honestly think this is a little better than Zootopia, because this one isn't about racism, it's about generational trauma, and as a result, it works better as a metaphor, whereas Zootopia's metaphor about using animals for racism just straight up doesn't work, and it pales into comparison to something like Fantastic Mr. Fox, or even fucking Trolls 2 did it better somehow, by using the metaphor of different music genres as stand-in for different races. Yeah, that blows my mind that Trolls 2 did a better job at racism. But no, here we are. But no, it's one of, honestly, the more time I've had since Elemental, because I saw it on like Tuesday, the more I like it. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, that was actually pretty good. I do enjoy that. That works. You know, I know we're giving, because right now we're kind of in an animation change. I'm just going to call it a change. Right? And we're in a post-Spider-Verse world, and we're seeing more and more movies take inspiration from Spider-Verse. Be that The Bad Guys, Puss in Boots. That new Disney Wish movie seems to be in some ways taking influence. We're seeing more and more movies take influence from Spider-Verse. Even like TV shows like Moon Girl take influence. So we're definitely seeing a change in animation. Meanwhile, Pixar had some of the best animation in the world. And they still do. The problem is they're just kind of, you know, it's Pixar animation. It looks great, but that's about it. There's no style or substance to it. Even though there is, like, that's the crazy thing, is that even though we're all kind of shitting on Pixar for, like, them kind of being the generic animation, like, this comes after, like, 25 years in the industry, tons of practice, tons of perfectionists, and this movie looks great. All the fire and water, the elemental city, like, it's thought out fine enough, you know. There are a lot of good things in this movie, and yeah, visually, it does look really good. All of the glass stuff, anything that has to do with glass in this movie, looks fantastic. But in the age of creativity of Spider-Verse, this just feels like it's playing it a lot safer. And that's kind of the problem, is that we want people to take risks, right? Of course, Spider-Verse is having its own problems of overworking their staff, because a whole report came out this year, or today, I mean, about how like 100 people quit the animation team on Spider-Verse. Based on what they have done right now on the movie, there's not a chance in hell that they're going to hit their March release date of next year, because they're nowhere close to being done with Spider-Verse 2. Yeah, like they've beyond the Spider-Verse, they've barely even started. The only start they've had is when this used to be one movie. I guess Haley Steinfeld said they haven't recorded a single voice line for the new one. So yeah. And abusive work environments. So yeah, even though Spider-Verse is visually amazing, it came at a cost. And that's how video games work as well. We see all these great video games like, Starfield and whatnot, and that came at the cost of abused employees, probably. I know that's what happened with CG Projekt Red and Rockstar. That's what happened with Red Dead Redemption 2. That's what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. And look what Cyberpunk 2077 got us. Again, the game's better now, supposedly, but still, a bunch of people got sacrificed at the altar of capitalism to make sure that game came out. Fucking capitalism, man. It ruins everything. It is the Antichrist. It's everything wrong with the world. But no, Elemental it's good. I enjoyed it. I do definitely feel like a lot of people are going to sleep on it, but I liked it. I recommend going to see Spider-Verse first. But honestly, if you've got nothing better to do, I'd go see it. I'd definitely watch it over Transformers. Well, I mean, I did literally choose it over Transformers. I also chose it over, like, one other thing as well that I can't remember what. Oh, I do want to see Asteroid City, just not... I'll get around to that, like, next week. I don't know. Same thing with, the new Indiana Jones. Like, I'll get around to it next week, probably. I don't know. I'm real worried about that new Indiana Jones. It might be good. It might be garbage. But Barbie and Oppenheimer, I'm not worried about at all. I'm sure it'll be great. Oh my gosh. My tummy. I've drinking like 3 of these glasses of water in the past like 2 hours. Do I have anything else on Elemental? Yeah, I liked it. It's not one of Pixar's best, but it's also not one of Pixar's worst. Like, someone pointed out, like, the past, like, 10 years of Pixar movies. And so, like, I liked it better than The Incredibles 2. I liked it better than The Good Dinosaur. I liked it better than Cars 3. I couldn't even be bothered to see Toy Story 4, so that gives you all my thoughts on that one. But yeah, no, I saw this one. I liked it. I probably liked it better than Soul, but I didn't really like Soul that much. But that was a very personal thing. I didn't love Soul. But that was all me. That was totally a me thing. I liked it better than Turning Red. But I'm sure there's a Pixar movie that's come out in the past 10 years that is better than that. That's better than it as well. I mean, Pixar hasn't been putting out... And again, some of those movies I just mentioned weren't... The only one I'd say was probably bad. Again, never saw Toy Story 4. But I'd say probably Cars 3... Which I didn't... I don't even know if it was just kind of mediocre, Cars 3. No, the one bad one I'd say was The Good Dinosaur. I don't know. I just dropped my phone. I was going to look it up. There's clearly a Pixar movie I'm forgetting, but... But I'm sure Pixar has put out something in the past 10 years that was better than it. I just can't think of anything Pixar has put out other than those ones. Yeah, I'm just talking in the past, like, 10 years. I like Inside Out more. Like, Inside Out is a movie I love, right? I didn't like Soul as much, but I loved Inside Out. And I'm so excited. If they do, like, a teenager sequel, oh, God, I'm so excited for that. Puberty. Oh, that could be great. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah. That's Elemental. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. It's definitely... Should it be failing at the box office like it is? No, but... Like, I could see why it's not like a box office hit. But it shouldn't be failing. Unlike something like The Flash, which I totally get why it is. Like, that one makes sense. I totally know why that's failing. And I don't even want to get into the whole Batman Beyond thing. Let's just not talk about that. I don't know. I saw a Red Panda video earlier today talking about Batman Beyond and how much he hates it. And I'm just like, nope, I completely disagree. But you know what? I don't even have time. I don't have time. I don't even want to leave an angry comment. Mainly because that's a fucking asshole thing to do. And it's not like I'm angry at him. You know, he's totally entitled to his opinion. I do like Batman Beyond, though. So let's talk, since we're talking about Marvel, let's talk Secret Invasion. So the new Marvel show, the first episode came out on Wednesday. I'll be honest, I have not been hyped for Secret Invasion. I have read the Secret Invasion comic. I've read Damn Obvious Assault. And I don't love it. I felt like when the Avengers TV show did it, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because they did Secret Invasion, and I felt like they did it better. You know, they did it better with the comics. They built up to it more. So to see this first episode of this TV show, I have not been all that excited for it. And I feel like it was fine. I guess I kind of want to go into spoilers on it. I feel like that's kind of how I want to talk about it. So I'm just going to say full spoilers ahead. So at the start of the episode, we're starting with Everett Ross. And hey, guess what? Everett Ross is a Skrull. That would have been a cool reveal at the end of Black Panther 2. If they had like a post-credit scene that was like, hey, Everett Ross is a Skrull. That would have been a neat reveal. But no, instead because that's kind of how Secret Invasion starts in the comics anyways, is I want to say they kill Elektra. And it's like, hey, Elektra's a Skrull? What? And that starts like this whole conspiracy in the Avengers TV show. I want to say it was Madam Hydra. So like that would have been cool to be like, hey, Everett Ross is a Skrull. And that's because the whole idea is it's like Secret Invasion. Like there's been this whole secret invasion of Earth. But based on this first episode, the invasion's not that secret. Because Fury admits part of the reason he came down from space to Earth is because he found an enemy Skrull on the Saber base. So like that's a part of this whole thing as well. So I don't know, it kind of, again, if you're going to do Secret Invasion, keep it a secret. But, you know, you've kind of already, with how this starts, because the whole villain plot is that, hey, these Skrulls are tired of pretending to be humans. Nick Fury promised them a planet 30 years ago, so if he's not going to do anything, especially after the blip, then they'll just do it themselves. They're going to wipe out humanity, you know, they're trying to get dirty bombs in the first episode, and they're trying to start a war between the United States and Russia. Which, I mean, again, it's very topical with what literally has just happened in the past 24 hours. With, you know, with a Russian coup literally happening. But no, I kind of feel like we already... Like, one of the things about Secret Invasion is that it at least tries to play its cards close to its chest. It usually gets the ball rolling too fast. You know, the invasion doesn't happen in secret, and by, like, the end of, like, the second issue, boom. It might even be by the end of the first issue. Boom, the invasion's already happened. Whereas, you know, you want to keep things secret. But in this one, no. We already know Skrulls are replacing people. We see how they're doing it, that they're stealing people's memories. There is a whole subplot here about Talos, who is the Skrull from, you know, Captain Marvel, the one from the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, how his daughter has joined this liberation army, you know, this IRA, and how this liberation army that's, you know, trying to, the Skrull army, is killed his wife. So his daughter is part of the army, and his wife is dead, killed by them. So it's like, what's going on there? The daughter is like surprised to learn about that the mother's dead. And then you think like, oh, she's going to help the father, but no, she doesn't. And the leader of the Skrulls is a guy named Gravik, who is... I don't know, we don't really see much of him in this episode. He taunts Fury. And then at the end of the episode, much to my disappointment, he kills Maria Hill. Yep, Colby Smulders was just in this first kind of like you know how like in the first episode of She-Hulk, you had like special guest appearance by Mark Ruffalo. Take me a second. Right, that's how this episode opens. Right, or this episode ends with special guest appearance by Colby Smulders, and that kind of sucks, because I do like I'm a big How I Met Your Mother fan, so of course I'm biased towards her and Robin Sparkles and everything. So yeah, it kind of, you know, I was really hoping the show was going to be her and Fury trying to figure out this whole secret invasion thing, and then, you know, at the end have the twist that she's the Skrull Queen. Because, you know, in the original Secret Invasion, it was Spider-Woman. In the MCU show, it was Mockingbird. And this one, yeah, it could have been Colby Smulders. Why not? Maria Hill? Sure. But no, that twist is definitely... They've got to do that twist, I'm sure. And I'm sure they're also going to do the 2 Nick Furies. Hey, guess what? There was another Nick Fury this whole time. Or some, you know... Because the big moment in Secret Wars is when they try to convince people that, hey, guess what? There's actually been 2 versions, right? In the original Secret Wars, it's that, like, they're crashed in the jungle, and there's, like, 2 versions of the Avengers. And they're trying to figure out, right, oh, who's the new Avengers, and who's the Skrull Avengers, and who's the real one. In the TV show... It's Carol Danvers who's trying to figure it out. I don't remember who it is in the comics off the top of my head. Because, again, Spider-Woman is a Skrull. But, I know in the TV show, they literally have Captain Marvel join the Avengers the episode before Secret Invasion kicks off. And then she's trying to figure out, hey, which one is the Skrull team and which one is my team? Right? Like, that's a whole thing. And, it kind of works better there. Just because of how they set it up. But, you know, this isn't an Avengers film. This is instead a Nick Fury show. So, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know. I feel like I'm very pessimistic about this. Which is kind of ironic, because I know the MCU has proved itself. That they can take bad comics and make good things out of them. Civil War is one of my least favorite Marvel comics. Civil War is awful. And it's the best MCU movie. So, they can take bad things, bad comics, extract the good ideas, and make something good. The problem is, Marvel has kind of been on a losing streak recently. Yes, Guardians was good. Yeah, Black Panther 2 was fine. But other than that, yeah, they've kind of been on a losing streak. I don't know, I say that, but, like, I liked She-Hulk. I liked Ms. Marvel. I just wasn't blown away by either of them. I guess that's what it comes down to. I wasn't blown away by Black Panther. Guardians was really good. I really enjoyed that. So, I don't know. I guess I have a lot of reasons to be skeptical. And nothing I've seen so far has, like, really dissuaded any of that. But it's just the first episode. There is the whole controversy, and rightfully so, that the opening credits of the show were made using AI. And it's like, if, you know, Disney was... Like, there were probably, like, a dozen people who work for Disney that make the opening credits for the shows like these, and they probably just fired 11 of them, kept one on to proof check everything, and then just called it a day. And that's what they're going to try to do to everyone. They're going to try to do that to the writers and the directors and the actors. Again, strikes are a good thing. There's going to be so many strikes in the future. Basically, if you have a union, you are probably going on strike in the next 10 years. Because they're going to try to replace your job with robots. Especially in creative fields. Yeah, because even though, we should be using these robots to, like, what's the meme? Mine the plastics out of oceans. Instead, we're trying to get them to do all of the creative jobs. Because we live in hell. Even though the whole point of robots is to get rid of the boring work. So that way we can just focus on the creative stuff. Instead, capitalism demands that we use the robots to get rid of the creative stuff. So that way we can focus on the boring stuff. Because we live in hell. But no, I'm pessimistic about Secret Invasion. Part of me feels like I'm the only one. I feel like way more people are excited for Secret Invasion than me. Like, from what I've seen on TikTok, people are like, oh no, Secret Invasion has the potential to be Marvel's best show. And I definitely do not feel that. I'm way more pessimistic on Secret Invasion than most others. But we'll see how it all plays out. I don't know how many episodes it is, but we'll be here every week from now on to talk about it. Feels like it's been forever since the last Marvel show. I don't actually know how long it has been, but it feels like it's been a while. So I guess that takes us to the end. So will we be back with Zelda tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. It'd be neat too, but if we don't, we don't. We'll definitely be back on Sunday. No matter what, we will be back on Sunday for more Zelda, but we might be back tomorrow. Other than that, Pikmin, all of the Pikmin games are on Switch. I highly recommend all of them. They are all good games. Do you have to start at the first Pikmin? No, I think you can safely start at 3 and have no problem. Honestly, I think you could probably safely start at 4 and have no problem. Based on how things seem to be going. But no, I do enjoy me some Pikmin, and we will definitely be doing the demo. We will for sure be streaming the demo when it comes out on Tuesday. But other than that, we'll figure out the rest when we get there. I don't know. I know June ends like next week, so... And I'm like, oh, we gotta finish Tears of the Kingdom by July. But I'm still in no rush. I'm happy to take my sweet ass time with it. If we only do Pikmin's 1 and 2, 1 and 3, we only do Pikmin's 1 and 3. It's no big deal if we skip over 2. If time really comes down to it. I don't think it will. But if it does, it does. Alright, I think I have an Amigo to do. I was like, oh, we're almost... I've been working on these Amigos for so long to get every piece of gear. I was like, oh, we're finally done. And then I remembered the Callie and Marie Amiibo exist. Yep, I completely forgot those existed. Oh, nothing. Okay. And then another thing that could have been in the Nintendo Direct? Shiver, Frey, and Big Man Amiibos. Because I do think those are coming eventually. Probably when they announce the DLC, they'll announce those. But I would expect those to be around the same time as those Breath of the Wild Amiibos. Which, God, those do look nice. I just hope I get a Skyward Sword Amiibo. Because the one time they went up the other day was, I want to say it was during the stream, and we just missed it or something. Like, I just completely missed it. And I was like, oh, fuck, and they haven't gone back up since. Because I don't think they're Best Buy exclusive, but that's one of the ones we need. Because I already have the Bokoblin. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this is where we're at. We've been going for 2 hours. This is where I'm ending off for tonight. We'll be back with more Zelda either tomorrow or Sunday. And yeah, I'm super excited to play more. You know, it's such a good game. It is. And I've been having a blast. But until then, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time. Peace.